The row over Swindon Town's decision to give a trial to Luke McCormick continues. Yesterday, we heard from a lot of fans against the move. The Professional Footballers Association has arranged for him to do some work in the community when he's released from jail. Gordon Taylor is the chief executive of the PFA. Good morning, Gordon.
Good morning.
Arranging for him to do work in the community, that's just a way of spinning this, isn't it?
Sorry, no, that isn't the main part of it. He's extremely remorseful. If he could put back the clock, he would. But he has, had his penalty, and we have a civilised society, I think, whereby once they've done that, they should be then rehabilitated back into society. He has a wife, he has a child, and this is his profession. He may not get a club, but if he does get a club, that's his best skill. Otherwise, he's got to get some job to look after his family. What he wanted to do as well was to really get involved in community work, but that
he doesn't have to play football to do that, though, does he?
No, but what we do have in football is a good social responsibility program that if any player, this can even set up their own foundation for any particular group of disadvantaged children or...
But anyone can do that?
Yes, they can, I'm sorry. Yeah, of course they can, but footballers do it more than most, actually. Last year we had I think there was nearly 40,000 visits to such programs by players.
You say he's done his penalty. Well, the maximum penalty for what he did is 14 years. He was given 7 years and 4 months, and he's only serving about 3 years of that in an open prison, let out on weekends to train with Swindon Town. He's been working in charity shops. Part of the deal, well, it wasn't a deal, but part of what was taken into account was he said he'd never play football again. That was at his trial, and then now he is going to play football again. Has he? It does look, doesn't it, like there's one law for footballers and a different law for everybody else.
No, I don't see why that should be the case, because that happens with all sorts of cases.
But they can afford better lawyers, more expensive lawyers who are good at getting people off things like this, particularly driving offences.
No, that wasn't the case. It was a very serious offence, and the judges have all the parameters there, and it was terrible, tragic. I don't want to get into that because that was horrific. So you can judge or quantify the length of time he's been in prison. That's your personal judgment. We've just got to... Well,
you were making the judgment. You were saying that what he got, he's paid his penalty by doing his time, and now it's over, and now
well, that's the way the justice system works, yeah. It's not... You're making out it's special for him as opposed to other people. It wasn't special for him. It was that special for him, and he had such good lawyers who, because he could afford them, he would have got off the charge, wouldn't he? But he didn't, and he's paid a price, the same as anybody else would do in that situation. And that's tragic enough, but are you denying him the right to now, if he does come out, to try and earn a living in the world?
He doesn't have to be a footballer, though.
No, he doesn't. If he can't there's no guarantee he gets a job as a footballer. That's his best skill. Otherwise, he has to retrain and do whatever he can to get a job, and it's hard enough to get a job these days.
Do you know him, Gordon?
I don't know him personally. We're in touch with him. I know people who do know him, and we did go down. My deputy in Manchester, John Bramwell, went down to see him in prison. He wanted to get his life back together. He wanted to look after his family. He was full of remorse, and he wants to put something a lot more back into the community, and we'll give him that opportunity. I wouldn't want you saying that's just paying lip service to it, but you can do. The proof of the pudding will be in the eating.
You've been quite outspoken about different things in the game. You said that players found guilty of racial abuse should be sacked. Does the PFA see racist abuse as a worse crime than causing the death of 2 children?
Well, clearly, causing the death of 2 children was horrific, and he lost his job at the club. That's what happened. He's not back at Plymouth now. He left, gone. Doesn't get paid whilst he's in prison. That's it. It's finished. The same. It's not... Football isn't an oasis from law and order. All my players are under the same rules of the land. Now, what we're saying with regard to racist abuse is that is to put in a category of gross misconduct. So it is open to a club, and it's to really focus on it to try and make sure we don't have any more incidents like we've had this year, and to make managers, staff at clubs, senior players coming in from abroad, and even board of directors aware that, you know, we've got to eradicate this from football now that we have such a cosmopolitan game.
What about abuse that Luke is bound to get from the fans?
Well, again, you've got, you know, when you've been through what he's been through, that's something he's going to have to live with, and that's for him alone to live with. But I hope there will be also people out there who appreciate, you know, that he's been under the justice systems, and now if he gets his chance to be out, he's got a job to do for his family and his youngster. But that doesn't mean to say he's not contrite or full of remorse for what happened.
So are the PFA supporting him then in his bid to play for Swindon Town?
Well, we couldn't deny him the right, even if we wished to. We wouldn't want to deny him that right. The same as if you and me were in something like that had happened and you came back out and your skill was as a broadcaster, I hope your union would look to get you re-engaged as in the media.
I doubt very much whether if I was responsible for 2 children dying, that I would live in the same country again. Never mind go on the radio there.
Well, that would be your choice.
Gordon Taylor, Chief Executive of the PFA, thanks for your time this morning. It's chilly this morning. It's icy. There's snow on the way tonight. When the weather's like this, it always reminds me of the first example I had of people in authority not believing me. It was icy like this when I was a kid. I think I was about 10. And my old man slipped on the ice on the way home from the pub and broke his right arm. Now, it worked out quite good because it was just before the school holidays. So when the school holidays came up, my mum was working. So me and my sister, who was about 6 at the time, were off, and he was home with us. My sister wasn't well. She had measles. So so it all worked, you know, he was off work. Now, my dad used to send me up to the shops to buy cigarettes. And when I was quite small, it wasn't a problem. They just give them to me. But as I got older, you know, kind of approaching the age where kids in our street started to smoke, it got harder. And the lady would, like, wrap the cigarettes in the tissue paper that they always used to have on the counter and give them to me. But first of all, I'd have to go like, they're for me, Dad. I'd ask for 20 senior service, and she'd look at me sideways. I'd go, they're for me, Dad. Then she'd wrap them in the tissue paper and give me the cigarettes. But after a while, she said, I went, they're for me, Dad. She says, well, he's going to have to bring a note. So from then on, we had to go through this drama of my old man and say, there's some money, go and get me some cigarettes. I said, you have to give me a note. And he'd write me a note saying they were for him. And then I'd go up to Thornley's newsagents and go through this, give her the note, then she'd wrap the things and whatever. And in the end, he got fed up with that, and often he'd just go up and get them himself, because he couldn't be bothered scribbling this note. Anyway, so there's this day, he's off work, he's looking after us, and he sends me up to the shop. And I went up to the shop, and I said, 20 senior service. She looked at me sideways. I went there for me, Dad. She said, really? Why couldn't your dad come? I said, because he's at home looking after my sister. She's got measles. She said, well, why didn't he write you a note? I said, because he fell on the ice and he's broken his arm. She said, get out.